Hello, Fit Fam. Today we have another great episode of the Fit Doc podcast where we talk about all things health and wellness. Today we're going to be talking to insurance expert Kevin Spann about financial wellness and what insurances you actually need to have as far as different policies. Because we also know that if financially you are not in a good spot, that can play a very serious impact on the stress of your body. He's going to talk about how to get your children to understand the importance of not waiting until they are 30 and 40 years old in developing different insurance policies, but starting sooner than that, as soon as they start making any money. So, Fit Fam, it is time for our mentally fit tip. Today, we'll be discussing the benefits of going outdoors. You know how much I love to be outside. But when you're outside in green spaces, that helps to support an active and healthy lifestyle. It's been shown to increase your life expectancy, improve your quality of your sleep, which you know is really important, and reduce your cancer risk. There are also some mental wellness benefits because that it will even help being outside to lower your risk of depression. And also, we know that when you're outside in the sun, you get vitamin D. And if your vitamin D level is low, that increases the risk of you having anxiety or depression. Being out in nature will help to strengthen our mental health, increase our focus. Also, it plays a role with us paying attention to things. So when you get a chance, every day, get out there, get the fresh air, get some sun, and help to lower the stress onto your body. Now, on to our interview with Kevin Spann, which we did at Nassau Coliseum. Hello, Fit Family. We have an amazing guest with me today. His name is Kevin Spann. Kevin, we are looking forward to hearing about you, and I'm just going to go right out of the gate because as Fit Doc, I'm concerned about you mentally, physically, spiritually, and sexually, and financially. So, as being our guest expert today about all things insurance, what does it mean to be financially fit?
Well, Fit Doctor, thank you so much for having me as a guest on your show. It means the world to be here with you, to be in this position to have this conversation with you, and I love all the fitness factors that you stand for. So to me, to be financially fit, it means two things. One, that you have the proper insurance to protect all the assets that you currently have, be that your home, your cars, if you're blessed to have toys such as a motorcycle, a boat, or things of that nature, the proper liability insurance that can cover your assets. So that's one thing, protecting what you have, but it's also very important to be financially fit, to have the right life insurance and financial services products to protect for the uncertainties of the future.
Now, when we talk about uncertainties of the future, how young should we be to start looking into insurances for all aspects of our lives?
15 days old. 15 days old, right out of the hospital, you can begin planning for your future for our children. We should plan for it as we normalize having financial fitness conversations with our children before they go away, pre-debt conversations regarding funding college education, financial conversations entering the workforce. If you're fortunate enough to have a job that still offers financial retirement products, the importance of dedicating and setting aside where you're automatically saving a portion of your salary to your 401k, 403b, 457 each and every week. And then as we age and mature, we want to make sure we've had conversations early to prepare financially for retirement. So let me say this, a lot of people have conversations and work very hard. You get the best education that you can to get the best job or best business opportunity that you can create. But very few people are in the conversation early enough, which involves around planning for retirement. When you're no longer working, how do you replace that stream of income that you work so hard to accumulate? How do you do that? What tools, what products that you have in place so you can prepare for that phase of your life as well?
So now, at what age do you suggest that somebody start planning towards their retirement? Because when you come right out of high school or college and you start making money, you are not thinking about retiring. You're thinking about your now, getting whatever money, spending your money, buying things. So how do you have that conversation, and who do you have the conversation with?
At the dinner table. So I will tell you what I told my sons before they went off to college. My oldest son's very specifically, he'll hear this and he'll honor this conversation. I told him that I wanted him to go to college to learn how money works in this country. Learn how money works. So we've always talked about financial conversations, from the dinner table to the car rides between basketball games to the trips back and forth to college. You're always talking about money. So I was a very young parent, having my oldest son a week before I turned 23 years old. So everything that I did in my long corporate career, I always talked to him about money the whole time. At one point, I had my son and my nephew living with me, and we had so many dollars, so many groceries, and I said, you guys can let this cereal stretch for 2 weeks, or you can eat it all in 2 days, but when it's gone, there'll be no more. So money has always been a conversation in my household, and that's one of my jewels I'd like to recommend to the audience. Make money a conversation with your children as early as possible. If you're facing a financial hard time and you have to make a choice between lunch or dinner, breakfast or lunch, doing this or sacrificing that, have honest conversations with the kids about what you're struggling with, and then teach them about money even when you don't have it. Teach them about credit even when your credit is bad.
How do we actually have that conversation? You say at the dinner table, but now, more times than not, most people aren't sitting down as a family having a meal. Parents might be working 2 jobs. Today I was in contact with a patient who's working 3 jobs. So how do you sit down and have that conversation when maybe you didn't even have the conversation and you're not even in the process of planning for your future?
The moments. We have moments. So my youngest son is 18 right now. Our moments may be him saying hello to me for 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, or 5 or 10 minutes in the evening. So in those moments, we have to have certain conversations, not formal, you're right. We don't get to sit down at 6 o'clock and have dinner as a family, but in those moments, we must normalize talking about financial fitness.
Okay. And now, one of the things that I noticed during COVID, we had a lot of deaths.
Yes.
And as a doctor, that was probably one of the hardest times for me, where you had to have conversations with family that didn't have everything together to bury their loved ones, and having to go online and set up GoFund accounts. How do we have that conversation? Because that was devastating to our community.
It was very devastating to the community. So the only certainty in insurance that you'll ever need is life insurance. New York State, where we are, requires us to have car insurance. A bank, if you're a homeowner, requires you to have home insurance. But no one requires you to have life insurance. Now, you may never have a car accident. You may never have a house fire. But death is a certainty. We all have an expiration date that we don't know, that one day we're going to have to leave here, and we can't leave quietly. So whether it's someone's belief or preference to go to a crematory, that costs $3,000 to $5,000. If you choose to have a funeral service here in this country, you're talking $10,000 to $15,000. And many of your listeners are probably from other countries. If they choose to go home, you're talking $25,000. And that's just for burial expense. But that's not financial fitness. Financial fitness is having enough life insurance to replace your income.
Okay.
It's enough financial life insurance to replace your income for the number of years that you plan on working. So let me give an example. So that young 30-year-old that's just starting out, they're making a salary, may not be a great salary, but they're making a salary, and they plan on working for the next 30 years. 30-year-old, you want to find $20 to $30 that you can afford to set aside every month to replace your income. God forbid, if you're not there for your family, that the money will still be there.
But you know that you just gave it a good example, 30-year-old, and at that time might not have a family. So they're not thinking about what's going to happen down the road. They're just thinking about what they can do right now. So I noticed that in addition to the Fit Doc books, there's an additional book that's here. So what is in that book? Because I saw something, because, being spiritual, I saw Bible.
Okay, so this book is a gift that I would like to present to you. This is my book, and I'm going to take a copy of yours. It is the Property Insurance, Bible, Bible, and the word Bible is an acronym for Better Insurance Before Losing Everything.
Okay.
I've been in the industry for 37 years. I've experienced every type of loss that any individual and any family could have, and my motivation for writing the book was to give away this information to people so they can prepare. It's not about buying all of your insurance from me, but to raise questions that you may not be thinking about that can help you, and you can work with a local agent in your area and ask hard questions. If you're not working with the local agent, if your insurance company, if you've chosen to save 15% in 15 minutes and that's the best place for you, that's okay. But I want you to have the information so you can ask them harder questions to make sure you are financially fit with your property insurance and your car insurance.
So this is sort of like what I call my book. My book is a piece of me that goes home with you.
Yes. Ooh, I like that. If you don't have a patent on that, absolutely, I love it. I love it.
Yes. Now, what would be because I know you're all about insurance. So what would be your favorite piece of advice for someone who has no idea where to go and how to get started, because their parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, no one had the conversation with them about all the different types of insurance that they should have? Because now you have a lot of people who have car insurance, and depending on the age of the insurance, they might not have that full comprehensive insurance. I ran into someone recently, car was damaged in the flood, had to go out and purchase car right from scratch because there was no insurance. So what is your favorite piece of advice to give to people that are like that?
Ask questions. Whoever you're currently insured with, ask them, what are you not covered for? It's the best question you can possibly have. Once they give you the price and the price is very attractive, say thank you. $100 a month sounds attractive. Just tell me one more thing. What am I not covered for?
Okay.
What am I not covered for? If I can give one question, that will be it. Tell me what I'm not covered for.
Okay. So we can go on and talking about this, between what I'm concerned about with my community, our community, the world, and how much you love about insurance. But I would like to ask, if somebody wants to get in contact with you, how do they reach out to you?
Absolutely. The best way to get in touch with me is on Instagram. That's at Kevin Spann _insurance guru. If you would like to text me, the best number to text me at is 347-837-7095. I would love to hear from you. If you text me, I assure you that I will contact you back within the same day or 24 hours, worst case scenario.
And if somebody wants to get their own personalized copy of your book, The Insurance Bible, how do they get you?
It's available on Amazon. Thank you so much. It's available on Amazon. Simply look up my name, Abraham, biblical spelling, Kevin, spelled phonetically, my last name, Spann, Spann. It will come up. At this time, it's my only book. I thank you in advance for your support, and I thank you in advance for the opportunity to be here.
Yes, so thank you so much, Mr. Spann.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think my favorite segment is always the Dr. Michele in real life, because with the book, you talk about being mentally fit and physically strong, but at the same time, real life, real medicine. And probably one of my favorite stories when they were younger, as far as my twins, was I was home with Scott. Scott was watching the boys while I was upstairs putting away the laundry. And I was like, house is really quiet. But I was like, when it's quiet, that means they're up to something. And around this time, they were probably about 1.5 years, 2 years old. So they were crawling all over the place and standing up, pulling themselves onto things. And I was like, what is going on? Because they are super quiet. I go downstairs and I'm like, Scott, so where are the boys? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I thought they were with you. I was like, no, I asked you to watch them. Go into the kitchen. They are sitting inside the dishwasher. Luckily for us, there was nothing in the dishwasher, but somehow they had managed to open the door and they were just sitting there. And I guess they were like, you know what? We're next to be washed. But that is probably my favorite story because when you have twins, sometimes one goes in one direction, the other one goes in the other one. But this time they were both hanging out in the dishwasher. Never a dull moment in my life. So Fit Fam, I hope you enjoyed our episode of the Fit Podcast, and I want you to please follow Kevin Spann so he can help you with your financial needs. Always remember that financial well-being impacts your health, and being financially fit, especially from the Fit Doc, is so important. So have the conversation early with your children about whatever their financial needs will be. And as always, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Fit Doc Podcast.